All right, everyone. Welcome in to the Breakdown MLB Future Show. We got three of us here, going to be talking the MLB betting market. We'll be talking our favorite teams. We'll be talking some long shots, teams we like to win it all, teams we wouldn't bet with our ex's money, and then some player props and win totals. I'm joined today by, we have down at the bottom of the screen, we have Seven at Real Seven Costanza, and we have Scott up in the upper right-hand corner at Scotty Does Know. So, boys, how are we doing today?
What's up? What's up?
Fan-fucking-tastic.
All right, ready to talk some baseball. We got a big show ahead of us, so excited to get started and get talking baseball. We're about 20 days away from season open, so excited to get that out there. A couple quick plugs for the breakdown before we jump into this. Bottom of the screen, we have a ticker running. There's currently a 35% off sale going on at our store. So all t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, mugs, any type of merch that you can imagine is available for 35% off at our store. We are also running a bracket challenge for March Madness. It is a $100 prize going to the winner, as well as a free t-shirt from our store. I'll be sharing a tweet after the stream ends to be able to get people to join in on that. So if you're looking to join in on the fun, please go ahead and join us for that. It is a free entry, and we are giving away a $100 prize. So hoping to get a lot of entries. You can have a max entry of 5 people, or 5 brackets. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. First thing I'm going to do is turn the mic over to Seven. Crendon is our head of MLB, and he's going to give a little intro into a 30 featured pieces that we're running for the site.
Yeah, thank you, Gordon Von Denham, leading the ship here. So as head of baseball, we took it upon ourselves as a team. We're going to be covering every single team in Major League Baseball every day up until the start of the regular season. They are live right now. You can get them on thebreakdownsports.com. They'll be shown on Twitter and links. You can follow us at Real Seven Costanza, at Scotty Does Know, and the Breakdown Sports account, the main account. You can find us with all our pieces there. We're covering every team. So division winners, projected division winners, all the way down to the fucking Pirates. Like, you will have a team to look for, and they are coming out every day. So stay tuned for that. A lot of work is going into this. So if you could show some love, read them through, retweet them. If you are a Tigers fan or a Pirates fan, I guarantee you that there is something to look forward to, at least with these pieces. Maybe not the record, but there's something there for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are running through all 30 teams. We kind of started off with each analyst was allowed to do their favorite team first to bring them some personal interest. And then from there, where Brendan lined it up. So we're kind of breaking down the better teams, or the teams at the top of each division first, before eventually the Tigers and the Pirates. And nope, Mariners already got there.
Tigers are out too for some reason. I don't know how, but the Tigers are out.
Yeah. Of course. The Rangers will be at the end, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Orioles. We can guarantee you that the Rangers and the Pirates will be at the end. So yes, if you are a fan of one of those terrible franchises, you have that to look forward to.
So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. First category that we are doing here that I will kick off is going to be homerism. So as you can see, we are all fans of different teams here. Scott and I are both Sox fans, and we have Crendon, who is a Yankees fan. I'm still living in the past here with the 2018 jersey on. The name on the back of the jersey now plays in Los Angeles. So I won't be turning around and showing that off, but this is the sole Red Sox jersey that I still own at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to the odd man out here. Brendan, lead us off. What's your favorite Yankees bet for the MLB season?
So, I mean, the safest bet would be the Yankees to win the AL East. It's minus 200. I didn't go that way because if you're betting anything minus 200, it's probably not worth your time or your money. I think the second closest would be them to win the pennant. That's at plus 230. the reason I have this, I just think it's weird. The American League heading into this year in 2021 after 2020 seems so much different just from the star power that's left. So the parity there is just, it's widespread. I think the Yankees and the White Sox are the two clear best teams in the American League at this point. And I just like the Yankees a little bit more to win the pennant just because A, I'm a Yankees fan, and also B, they've been to the playoffs multiple times. So I think with the full season, if they can stay healthy, they're a good bet to win the pennant. So I would bank on that one, plus 230. It's decent value. It's a safe play.
I like it. Obviously, being a Sox fan, I am not too excited that you are choosing them to win the AL pennant, but I'm glad that you're doing that over them winning the AL East. Scott, I'm going to go ahead and take this next one. So give myself a little break between each question here. My favorite homer pick for the Red Sox, this is a long shot. I'm taking Bobby Dahlbeck, plus 2,000 Rookie of the Year. Dude's going to hit 30 home runs. I know Jared Carrabis went out on a limb and said he was going to hit 58 because last year, during a very short season, he went out and smacked 8 in 23 games. And in 2019, last year was his first year even making the show. So I'm taking Bobby Dahlbeck. This dude is going to hit 30 home runs. He's probably going to set the league record for strikeouts with like 317, because if he's not hitting it out of the park, he's going to uppercut himself for 3 straight strikes. But that is my pick. Bobby Dahlbeck, Rookie of the Year, plus 2,000. Obviously, the likelihood of that happening is not very great, but at plus 2,000, I mean, if anyone gives you plus 2,000 on anything, you take it.
Bobby Bombs.
Scott, what's your pick?
Yeah, I really like the Red Sox to make the playoffs. That's, one of the easy ones. Or not the easy ones, but the best value in my opinion. I think the Rays are going to be down. The Orioles are shit. I think that, the Yankees are great, but if you look at their lineup, it's all right-handed batters. They're one Garrett Cole injury away from being mediocre, which I think Brendan would agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just think that the AL is going to be down a little bit. I think there's a good opportunity for a few teams to sneak up on some people. I'll hit on a few of them later. But, yeah, this is also a good opportunity for me to plug the article I wrote up about the Red Sox. Definitely go into the rotation, which I think is going to be a lot better than it was last year. God bless Nathan Eovaldi, but he's not the ace. So hopefully he won't be making that start on opening day this year. So I think that they made some moves in the offseason to shore up that rotation. And, I'm looking forward to them making a playoff run this year, sneak up on some people.
What was the odds on that one?
The odds, sorry, I should have led with that. But, yeah, it was plus 275. And, I mean, that's great odds for making the playoffs, because that's even the wild card. You don't have to win your division.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees can go do that. But
you don't even have to win
they just need to make it to the dance.
You just need to make it.
Yeah,
you just got to do the Oakland A's.
Exactly.
All right, so jumping into our next one. This is a fun one. Wouldn't bet with your ex's money. 7. I know you've had a few exes in the past. If they gave you $100 and said, go out and spend this however you would like, I'm sorry it didn't work out, what would you not be betting?
The first one is the Indians over 81.5 wins. And that should be clear. The Indians payroll going into 2021 is twice or half of the Rays payroll, which should send a fucking absolute alarm.
Jesus.
They gutted their whole team. I've never seen something happen like this. They gutted their whole – they're a playoff team too. Like, they gutted the whole team, got rid of their best player, one of their best pitchers, and they got 2 shortstops back. Both of them are terrible. One of them has to play. The odds for ever being your favorite Cleveland, your team is dog shit. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I think they're going to finish 4th, maybe last, depending on how it shakes out with the Royals and the Tigers. But the Indians are a horrible team heading into the 2021 season.
So what really shocked me is Fangraphs has them winning 82 games. Baseball Prospectus, who they are what they are. 86 wins for
I saw that
your
earlier.
Cleveland Indians. That is bananas. They think they have a 25% chance to win their division. They have a better chance to win their division, according to Baseball Prospectus, than the White Sox.
Good God. Is Shane Bieber throwing every other game?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like they think that they don't have to get at bat. They're like, oh no, if they just strike them out 3 times and then 3 more times and then 3 more times, it's like spring training rules. The game's over.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's a rough look. First one that I will jump into is the Yankees win total. I just won't touch it. At 95, what is it? 95 and a half.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it over. I wouldn't take it under. There is just so much volatility in that, where they are a Garrett Cole injury away from winning 85 games. They are Mike Stanton moving into an apartment from winning 92 games. And if anything happens with Toronto or Tampa or the Sox, where they lose key contributors, they are looking at like 105, 110 win season. There are so many variables with what could happen in the AL East. I wouldn't take it either way.
I agree with that.
Scott, what's your first one?
Yeah, there's a number I don't like, and that's the Cubs win total, 85 or 70. Wow, 78 and a half. Got those numbers mixed up there. I just think this is a team that, they're going to shed some payroll. I bet I'd lay some money that they trade at least either Rizzo or Bryant, try to shed some of that payroll. Wilson Contreras. I think those guys are probably gone at least by the deadline. So I think that number throughout the year is going to go just keep plummeting. So yeah, I would, if I had $100, my ex's money, that's not going on the over for that.
I like that. Yeah, I'm not too high on the Cubs this year. Brendan and I were talking. Their hardest throwing starters maybe topping out at 88 miles an hour if he had 8 square hours of rest for 3 weeks straight. Like, they're going to struggle to really do much of anything. Where are they projected from our friends over at Baseball Prospectus? Probably 107 wins. 85 wins. No, 86. You've got to be kidding me. What is wrong with these guys?
Unreal.
They have a 31% chance of winning their division. There's no shot in hell.
Their bullpen is
terrible. Are they using 2017 rosters?
I mean, I saw some of this shit from Baseball Prospectus, and when I saw the White Sox, I think the White Sox were like 82 wins on Baseball Prospectus. So that should tell you all you need to know. When the Indians have 4 more wins than the White Sox heading into this season, that should tell you everything you need to know.
I'm with you. Brendan, what's your next one?
I mean, this one brings me so much joy because I hate the Mets so much. But also, to preface this, the Mets, you shouldn't be doing a mock celebration of a World Series win in spring training. Everyone saw that video. You're pathetic. Take it down now. Let alone winning the NL East, which I think is going to be the most competitive division in baseball. Mets winning the NL East, I don't like it. Reason why? Their defense is looser than a hooker when the fleet came in. Out of everyone that started on this starting 9 last year, and I know Francisco Lindor is there, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. He's not Ozzie Smith. No one had a positive run differential, defensive run saved. Everyone was negative. This is the worst defensive team in Major League Baseball, aside from maybe the Pirates, who are actually playing a minor league team. I don't understand the infatuation with this team. I don't get it. I know they added a lot of star power, but until you prove it to me that you can actually save runs, for me, you're forever going to be in third place limbo, and that's exactly where I had them finishing. So I wouldn't touch that one at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. The numbers on them to win their division seem a little bananas land to me, considering what they historically have done. I have a really hard time buying into the new look New York Mets being a really solid team in 2021. My next one that I'm going to take is very similar thought process to the Yankees, is the Padres. Too much volatility. You have a very young team. You have a team full of, I said earlier, team full of free agents and 22-year-olds. I have a really hard time buying into the fact that they are expected to win 95 games this season. I think that 90 is probably most realistic, but in some 2021 scenario, in these uncertain times that we live in, where they could win 100 games. I am completely unconfident in everyone in the NL West except for the Doyos. So I would not be betting one of my numerous exes' monies on the Padres.
It's free real estate, though.
It is. It is. What do you got, Scott?
Yeah, another one. The Twins, I do not like their win total. This is a team that really didn't add much in the offseason. They lost a couple of their pitchers as well. I think Kenta Maeda, their ace, is going to regress back. He had a great year last year, but I don't think that he replicates that. I think they're going to struggle to get outs. They're a really right-handed power hitting lineup, so they don't match up well. You saw that in the playoffs. I think they're kind of getting exposed that way. Their number right now is 88.5. I don't see them coming close to winning 90 games, even though the Central might be ass. I just don't see them even coming close to that. So that's something that I'm staying as far away from as I can.
So, Scott, you're out on the Twins. Are you in on the stepbro and stepsis?
What do you mean?
What are you doing, stepbro?
Oh, jeez.
So ridiculous. Scott,
guy.
I got news for you. You may not want to look at who I'm about to pick for the AL Cy Young. So you might think he's regressing. I think he's fucking coming back. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Yeah, what do you got to say?
Different people have different opinions. Now, also, too, we kind of were talking about it, hinted at it a little bit earlier, but when you're looking at these lines, it's important to really shop around and make sure that you're getting a good line or the best line that you can. Because, different books are going to have crazy numbers or whatnot. And so, definitely do your research. Don't just blindly start placing bets on futures because there is some disparity and there is definitely places that you can get better lines and better odds for your money.
I could not agree more. Like when I was even just trying to find things for the stream, if I saw, let's say it was the Cubs win total, someplace it's 78. I found a 79, so I know we're going to get into that in the win total section. I think both you and I like the unders on them. You got a good number on a 78.5, or 79. I got a good number on like 78.5. So there's lots of variables, especially in the win total market, as well as the pennant market. And we'll kind of see that when we get into it. So next, we are going to jump into our value play. So these are something that we find value in. Doesn't mean it needs to be the biggest long shot in the world. Just means that we think that the chances of it happening are greater than the number that is being offered. So Brendan, I'm going to turn it over to you again and let you lead us off.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Trey Turner. I think Trey Turner is going to lead the league, or the National League at least, in stolen bases. Right now, the only reason I'm a little concerned, I just saw this come out today with their projected lineup, Turner might be hitting third. I don't think that's going to happen the whole year, and I like this team too much. And I like the fact that Turner is going to be hitting at the top of the lineup regardless, that he will get good pitches to hit, he will be getting on base, and he will be running. That's plus 450. That's a ton of value there with not a ton of speed and a lot. And, the game, the way it's going now, is 3 outcomes. So you don't get a lot of stolen bases anymore. He's one of the few guys that will be able to do it. So I like that play a lot.
Yeah, stolen bases seem like they're starting to become like just a small ball thing at this point. Teams are really focusing on power, and to have a guy who's able to hit, not just be a leadoff guy, but someone like him or Mookie Betts who's able to actually muster out some steals as well is huge for a team, especially a team like National. So I might as well jump into it. I'm going for a twofer right here with my favorite value play. Both are on the Nationals, plus 2,500 to win the NL and plus 625 to win the NL East. Again, this isn't a crazy scenario in which the Mets are allegedly
Definitely
the best team in the NL East. Yeah, I think that. Well, they have the front runner for the MVP in the NL. So right there with Juan Soto, that's a huge advantage. If you have someone like that who can hold down the middle of your lineup, they still have a stacked rotation. Whether those guys are 1 year older or not, Scherzer's still Scherzer. They still have Strasburg. They still have probably one of the best 1, 2, 3 combinations in the NL, aside from the Dodgers. They add 2 explosive bats. I know I just referred to Josh Bell as an explosive bat, but that's what he is. The dude can hit. He's gonna slug like 500. They also added Kyle Schwarber, who, yes, he's gonna strike out 250 times, but when he doesn't strike out, that ball's going over the fence, baby. Decent bullpen too, so a lot of depth in that bullpen. They're able to make that run as we've seen it with other teams like the Oakland Athletics. Bullpen depth is huge. Once you get down to the stretch of the season, once injuries and fatigue start setting in, and them just having that experience of having that World Series run 2 years ago, having a real shit season in a short year last year, I think they're ready to get back to business as usual.
Like it.
Scott, what do you got?
Well, I'll get something that old Brennan didn't like, and that is my play for the value. I think really the Yankees to miss the playoffs at plus 600. That's crazy value for a team that miss the playoffs, especially a team that's like very injury prone, as we've seen in years past. So you don't want to project injuries, but it is something that does happen with that team, just the way they're structured. Don't wish injuries on anyone. I hope everyone stays healthy, but the possibility and the realistic possibility that happens and this team misses the playoffs, they're in a tough division. So they're going to be beaten up on the Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox. So it's tough. Brendan knows playing it, but I like that as a value play for that plus 600. Give me that all day.
Yeah, when you've got 3 dudes, I mean, they have 3 massive dudes, and the bigger the guys are, I mean, look at me. I mean, I'm fucking huge, guys. The bigger you are, the more likely you are to get hurt. I get hurt getting out of bed, and the same is true for Mike Stanton, Aaron Judge, and Gary Tubby Sanchez.
Yeah, I like that. Honestly, I don't like it, but I understand the logic. The fact that I think
as a value play.
As a value play, I like the logic behind it. I think at this point, Aaron Judge would get a fucking concussion brushing his teeth. So nothing would surprise me with these injuries. I don't, again, plus 600, you're right. It's good value for a team that potentially could they are one Garrett Cole injury away, might I add, from just destroying their team that could happen. So regardless of Judge, Stanton, and Sanchez, if one of their big arms were to go down, they're fucked. So I think that's very fair.
Yep. Brendan, back to you. What's your next one?
This is I'm gonna be very straight up. I hate this team so much.
You don't hate them. You hate the people involved at the top.
Yes, I do. And I don't even know if they're involved at the top anymore. But I hate the Oakland Athletics. I hate them. But I hate betting against them. They're like the Rays, another team that I have strong hatred towards. But I hate counting them out because almost every year it seems like they make a playoff push. They're right in the thick of things. In past years, they look more deadly than the Astros in some respects towards the end of the year. This year with the Astros obviously coming in a lot weaker than what we've seen in the past. I don't think you should sleep on the Athletics. Everyone's hyping up the Angels. The Angels pitching is terrible. Their bullpen's horrendous. Shohei Ohtani, I don't know what he actually plays. I like the A's. Look at that. Look at that, Jordan. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I like the A's to win this division. I think the A's are the most complete team. I think they have not the best at anything, but a jack of all trades, master of none. I hate counting them out. Plus 140, that's safe. That's easy money, in my opinion, to win this division. That's going to be a lot weaker. So I like the A's to win the AL West.
Yeah, I have them coming up a little bit later and something that I like, so I'll save my comments for that. Next one I have Brewers plus 350 to win the Central. Central is going to be a rock fight. You have two teams that you have the Pirates, who are going to be the Pirates. They won't win 60 games. You have the Reds, who, yeah, they've got a couple pitchers and they have literally one batter. The Cubs, who, like Scott said, are probably going to end up trading away 1 to 3 of their best players come the trade deadline because they really should be looking to the future. Cardinals are, or unfortunately to fellow breakdown contributor Drake Mann, possibly looking at some injuries. Plus 350, there's way too much value on that. Fangraphs has them at about 33% to win the Central, which is about plus 200. You're giving me plus 350. I'm taking that.
Like it.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
I mean, Yelich, decent rotation. Division has literally no pitching. They have like 4 above average pitchers that aren't on their team in that division.
I like it.
Why can't they win 85 games?
Also, you know why I like that pick, Jordan? Because the Jackie Bradley Jr. signing recently,
Yeah.
I think that changes.
Sneaky good.
It's sneaky good because it changes the whole identity as a team. They are now a defensive run-stopping team, and they have 2 really good arms at the front of that rotation, and you still have Yelich. So why not?
Yep.
Also, like the Devin Williams, that rookie last year. Man, that dude's curveball, or his changeup, sorry, is one of the best pitches in baseball.
Speaking of, Drake chimes in. Great bullpen. What do you got, Scott? What's your next one?
Yes, this one is a little bit more of a long shot, but I like the Royals to make the playoffs. Low key, I'm a big Brady Singer fan. I think he's going to take a next step this year. But yeah, you can get it at plus 1,000 to make the playoffs. The AL is already going to be down. We've talked about it. It's going to be open for that playoff wild card spot. The division, the White Sox are going to be the White Sox, but everybody else, I don't like the Twins. I already said that. And yeah, I just think that there's a good chance that this team makes some moves. I like Mike Minor, the addition of him, a veteran arm. I think he's going to move along him. Brady Singer, Kyle Bubic is another young guy, lefty that I like. And also, too, an underrated signing for this team was Carlos Santana. I think he's going to come in there. I think he's going to do some good things for that young lineup. Obviously, they took Benintendi from us. I hope he bounces back. I wish all the best.
Biceps.
Right? Benny Biceps.
The
Yeah, and also, too, Whit Merrifield. He's one of the best hitters for average, at least, in the American League, if not baseball. So if he can get some help around him, I think this team has a chance. And plus 1,000, man, I love those long shots. Give me that all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun fact about Whit Merrifield, he was neighbors with my boss when I worked in the hotel industry in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That is where he resides. Sorry, Whit.
Huh?
Sorry if I blew you up on your spot.
We
Secret.
just doxed Whit Merrifield in a live stream.
All right, I've got a third one, so I'm going to go ahead and take that one. Then we'll jump into our next section. Kind of running off what Brendan said, I have the Oakland A's plus 1,000 to win the AL. Had to break out the jersey for it. They have the deepest bullpen in the MLB. When you can sign, who'd they get? Trevor Rosenthal. They bring back, I can't pet it. My dog's going. Yes, my dog's going nuts. He just loves the Athletics. Sergio Romo's coming back. Lou Trevino, Jake Diekman. They have a really solid bullpen, and that's going to matter. They have a stacked, youthful rotation. You have they don't really have a number one. I guess Sean Manaea is a number one, but they have 5 number threes. I'll take 5 number threes. If you got 5 guys who can hold down the middle of any rotation, and that's your starting 5. Plus, they still have AJ Puck, provided he doesn't have Tommy John for the 17th time in his short MLB career. And they have decent vets to kind of bring some veteran leadership into a clubhouse that's led by the Mats, Chapman and Olsen, with Piscotty, Mitch Moreland, Mitchie Two Bags is heading out west to East Bay. I really like Oakland at plus 1,000. Oh shit! Look at that.
Mitchie two bags. Haha.
All right, so next we're going to jump into the whole enchilada. So these are teams that we think that can win it. It's not necessarily our picks for actually winning it, but these teams have some decent chances at making it to the show. Brendan, who do you got? What's your two teams that you're taking here?
I'll start with the NL. I know this is kind of crazy. I like the Nationals to win. They have the pedigree. They've been there before. They had a down year last year. They've added some pieces. They're hungry. I like this. I think in a true battle-tested division like the NL East all season, getting to the playoffs, they're going to have more of a I don't want to call it a clutch factor, but been there, done that before. Than perhaps the Dodgers or the Padres. Jordan, to your point earlier, there's so much volatility there. If one of those teams falls off or doesn't meet expectations, it's a cakewalk for each one. I like the Nationals to win the World Series in the National League just because they've done it before. They're only 2 years removed. Everyone kind of forgot about them too. There is no attention on the Washington Nationals, almost like 2 years ago when they started 19-33 and they just went on an insane run. I love the signing to add John Lester as a number 4 too. I think that is one of the most underrated signings of the offseason. If he can still give you 160 innings, that is huge value for the Nationals. So I like them from the National League. From the American League, I got to take my Yankees. Again, this all depends on health, and we're going to keep talking about health with them. But if they only suffer just 1 or 2 injuries, then it wouldn't be the end of the world. If half their team is missing again by May 4th, if half the team is missing by May, we're in for a large, tumultuous season, of which I don't want to think about right now. But I like it. The AL is wide open. The Rays got a lot worse on paper. The Blue Jays are still coming into their own. The Red Sox are not in a rebuild. I think they're going to compete. And then if you look across the rest of the league with the Central, it's really just the White Sox that you can lock in. And then we talked about the West a little bit earlier. I like the Yankees to win that pennant and to win the World Series if I'm taking an AL team to win the World Series. But I like the Nationals, the Yankees are the World Series matchup. So I will stick with that.
All right. So I'm the odd man out here where I did not. My 2 selections here are not necessarily who I have for my World Series matchup. So to answer Tommy's question as whose A's jersey is this? It's a majestic jersey. So it's a few years old. This is during the days when the A's were trading, when Billy Beane would trade his daughter for 2 prospects. So it's a blank jersey because I was not dropping money. Why? So I get a Billy Butler big country jersey and he gets traded at the deadline? No, thank you. It's a blank jersey. My pick for the AL in this section is the Oakland Athletics for all the reasons I laid out. Good, best bullpen in baseball. I'll say it again. Not necessarily that they have one particular player who's going to shut it down, but it's going to be a true bullpen. Every guy is going to put in his innings. He's going to get his time to shine, and they're going to get the job done. 2 of the best younger starters in the AL. Hopefully Olsen can avoid an injury. That's kind of been his issue the first few years. Chapman has been unreal, probably the best defensive third baseman in the league. And Arenado probably up there as well. From the NL, I am going with you, Brendan. I'm taking the Nationals. Plus 2,500, just too much value on that. For all the reasons that you listed, plus, like I mentioned earlier, fucking Josh Bell, dude. Josh Bell and Kyle Schwarber, are you kidding me? Those guys are going to be batting like, all right, if in this fantasy land that, if in this fantasy land that 2021 is and the Mets are allegedly good and Trey Turner's batting 3 for your Washington Nationals, Josh Bell's batting what, like 7th, 6th? Kyle Schwarber's going to be batting like 8th. Like, if you have power towards not sitting directly in the middle of your lineup where Juan Soto has to be batting 4th, that's going to be incredible for teams like, dude, they're going to play fucking 15 games against the Miami Marlins. Are you kidding me?
Marlins a startup.
I know. But they're going to score they're going to put up 14 runs, way more than anyone would expect them to, considering they are getting absolutely no attention this year. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, so this is where I didn't go with any long shots, and I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as the Padres, and what you were saying, Jordan. I really like them. I think they're a young team that got valuable experience last year. They made a playoff push. They made the playoffs. They got that experience. They added Yu Darvish, who, if Trevor Bauer wasn't in the NL last year, probably would have won the Cy Young. I think he's going to do wonders at Petco. He's honestly one of my picks for the the NL Cy Young. Got that mixed up earlier too. But I like the Padres. I like that big three they got there.
Yeah.
I think that they match up well with the Dodgers. I don't think they're better than the Dodgers, but I think that they match up well, and I like the value at plus 390 or 400, wherever you can get it, to win that pennant. For the AL, since it's weak, I like that the White Sox. I know they're one of the favorite teams with the Yankees, but I really like the addition of Hendricks there at the end for their closer. I think that's a huge pickup for them. One of the things that they were kind of missing last year. So I think that's big for them, being able to shut down games. This team's going to score runs. They got Jimenez. They got Robert. I like some of the veteran guys they got. Yasmani Grandal. I think he's a good veteran presence in that lineup. And I like them to win the AL. I think you can get it at plus 380 last time I checked on DraftKings, which is pretty good value.
Yeah. Yep. That is really good value for a team that is so young and so talented, but still went out, added a couple vets. I mean, I know they have Adam Eaton in there, and I don't know if he's going to be bringing his son back in the clubhouse. Kind of ruffled. Yeah. Kind of ruffled some feathers last time. Isn't his son's name Drake? He had young Drake Eaton in there.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember season 1 of Gap to Gap. That was a big talking point. I think we talked about him bringing his son into the clubhouse for like 15 solid minutes.
Yeah, that's right. I remember he brought him like every day, and eventually they were just
someone threw a fit.
Like, get him out. Like,
and then Adam Eaton quit on the team and said he didn't want to be there anymore.
The Nationals for fucking Lucas Giolito.
Oh my god,
we've had enough of this kid.
Oh yeah, it was the year Chris Sale cut his shirt up like fucking confetti.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't want to wear the throwback.
The throwbacks.
Oh my god,
what a team that was. All right, next.
That was hilarious.
Next, we're gonna hop into our win totals. We're actually doing good time, so I'm proud of us, man. Gonna hop into some win totals now. We can spend a little bit more time in this section before we hop into our player props. So we're each going to pick 2 to 3 teams, give a side as to why we like a particular win total, and we'll see what comes of it. Brendan, I'm going to turn it over to you first. Actually, looks like you are currently typing, so I'll go ahead and take the first one. First one I'm going to take, looks like we've made some maneuvering in this dock here. I'm going to take the KC Royals over 71.5 minus 115. Scott kind of mentioned earlier reasons to like them. I am the biggest Mike Minor fan outside of his family and like his neighbor. I don't know what it is about that dude. I seriously thought he should have won a Cy Young 2 years ago when he's like 34 years old, just throwing the illest changeup in the league. There's so much to like about that dude. Having him in a young clubhouse, bringing in guys like Benintendi, still having Alberto Mondesi. They've got Whit Merrifield. They bring in Benintendi. They've got a lot of players to like on that team. 71.5 wins in a division that... Sorry, Indians. Sorry, Tigers. Not necessarily the toughest division in baseball. I think that there's going to be opportunities for them to win 80 games. If we come down to September and the Royals are sitting at 81 and 81, I truly would not be surprised. 71.5 seems like an absolute steal.
Yep. Yeah, I love that.
That's a good point too. Think about it, because from the standpoint that the Royals, the Benintendi trade kind of signaled to me that they're not looking to win it all by any means, but they're definitely looking to compete. And I mean, they see that this division is not wide open because the White Sox clearly are the favorites, but even the Twins pitching is terrible.
Beatable.
I should say beatable. That's a better word. I don't want to be hyperbolic about it, but I think the Royals, in all sense, like they're a team that could compete. And let's say that the Indians get off to a horrible start that we think they're going to, the Tigers are horrendous. There's going to be movement at the trade deadline with those teams selling. The Royals might be in a position. Who's to say by the end of July the Royals don't add another pitcher or reliever to help them compete in a division that's totally winnable?
Yeah. Spencer Turnbull, future Kansas City Royal. Who knows? I've seen crazier shit. Scott, you got anything to add on the Royals? I know you like this win total as well.
Yeah, no, I love that win total. You're beating up on those two terrible teams in your division. So, those are going to be a good amount of games that they can win right there. I think that they're a team that can easily surprise some people and win a lot more games. And, 71 is not a lot of wins. Like, that's a very low win total. So going over that is definitely something that, they don't even have to win 80 games, just, high 70s. So I love that number. And I definitely think that's another number that's going to change once the season starts and games are starting to get played.
Yep. Brendan, I'm going to turn it over to you now. What's the first win total that's sticking out to you?
So I just added this one. That's the reason I was typing. But I realized this is just too safe. Again, sorry if you're a New York Mets fan, but they're not winning over 90 games. I don't think any team in this division wins over 90 games. As I alluded to, the NL East is the most competitive division. You have the Braves. Everyone shits on the Braves. I don't understand it. The Braves are clearly the team with the most pedigree for the playoffs in this division.
Yeah.
They are largely the same team. Plus, adding Charlie Morton gives them a veteran presence that they were trying to get with Cole Hamels last year. So if he can pitch more than a game, then you've already won that. I think we talked about the Nationals ad nauseum. We're going to keep talking about them, but I think the Nationals are a great team. And then add on top of that, you have the Phillies, who, yes, their pitching is not great. That lineup would strike fear into any pitching rotation. And, of course, the Marlins. Like, the Marlins were a playoff team last year. Granted, it was extended playoffs, but the Mets didn't make the playoffs in extended playoffs, and the Phillies didn't make the playoffs in extended playoffs.
Yeah.
And they're going to be competitive. So I don't think any team wins this division. I don't think any team wins this division with 90 wins. I don't think that the Mets have a chance to get 90 wins. Because everyone talks about this pitching rotation. I see Jacob deGrom and a bunch of fucking wags. I think Marcus Stroman is too busy on Twitter and promoting his fashion line to actually give a shit. And that split change that he's been working on, I saw that. Someone fucking nuked him. So not going to happen. Who else we have? Noah Syndergaard, probably not going to be back until midseason. That defense oh my God, Swiss cheese on the defense.
Yeah.
You're going to have Conforto, Lindor. I mean, all these guys can hit, but if you can't save runs, it doesn't matter to me. And that pitching rotation after DeGrom is just very, very iffy to me. So I don't like this team as much as people think, they're going to be good. So I think under 91.5 wins is very safe.
I'm there with you. Just to pour some cool water on you, I do think that adding James McCann is going to do a lot for a team with a rather volatile pitching staff. I think having a veteran presence of him, where he's been on fucking shit teams for his whole career, waiting for a moment and waiting for an opportunity. This reminds me of when the Sox got, oh God, what is his name? He coached the Cubs.
Oh, David Ross. This has some real David Ross of you bring a veteran catcher in who's just played on bad teams, journeymaned his way around the league,
lost 120 games in a year, and he's just excited to play on a good team, and he's going to show up. He's going to fucking smack Stroman around and keep him in line, get him off Instagram during the season. He's going to let him have his fun during spring training. But hopefully for the Metropolitan faithful, James McCann and some of the other veteran leadership will show up, and it's not just the fucking kiddie corral at whatever their shitty stadium is called with its stupid fucking apple. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, piggybacking off that, I don't like the Braves win total. It's right at 91.5 with the Mets. Just like Brendan was hitting on, it's a brutal division. It's going to be an absolute buzzsaw to get through that division. And honestly, I think that the Braves, I like some of their young guys. I like Max Fried. I really like Soroka, even though he tore his Achilles. But I think that they don't rush him back. So that's someone that they're not going to have. But yeah, I don't think that they have the starting pitching to make it through a season and win 91.5 or more than 91.5 games. I think they're, at best high 80s. And yeah, 91.5 is just way too much in my opinion. For the team that isn't really loaded at the top end with their pitching rotation in that crazy division.
For a team that is so good, it feels like they have the most shallow pitching rotation in the league. I mean, Ian Anderson is going to be a significant contributor on this team, and Drew fucking Smiley.
I can't believe Drew Smiley's still getting jobs.
Drew Smiley.
Like, that would give me a frown face if I knew that Drew Smiley was on my team. Drew Smiley hasn't pitched. I don't think I've seen him pitch a competent game in 6 years. But it feels like this guy continuously will get like $10 million deals. Every now and then he'll just go, oh, you know what? I still have some left in the tank, coach. Drew.
Well, Brendan, that's because he hasn't actually played a full season since 2016. So
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you are spot on with him not pitching a competent game in 5 years.
Yeah, he is. What a tragedy that man is. That's a tough one.
I'm going to hop into mine, keeping it in the East, but heading over to the other league. Going to talk about the AL East. Going to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. Talented team. I don't think we can really argue that. They are talented. I just don't see how they win 88 games. Win total's at 87.5. I like the under 87.5 at -110. How are you going to win 88 games in a division that is going to have Tyler Glasnow and Ryan? Yeah, bro. You have the Boston Red Sox and the scrappy Boston Red Sox at that. They're going to be fighting and clawing their way through that division. Going to be Toronto's typically had a tough time playing Boston, dating back to Roger Clemens being on the Blue Jays roster. And then you still have the Yankees, which Yankees have never once batted an eye when it comes to their friends from across the border. And seeing a scenario in which the Blue Jays win 88 wins or greater, honestly, for me to take a win total, I need to think that a team can clear it or fall under it by 2 to 3, 4 games. I think that the Blue Jays are an 82, 84 win team. I think they're good. They have tons of young talent. I think they are, like Brendan said earlier in the show, still coming into what they are going to be. And I don't think that they're quite there yet. They made some great additions, can't knock them going out. They got Springer. They have a real solid top of their rotation. I just don't think they have the depth or the experience necessary to compete through 162 games. I think this is a team that can win games, but at the same time, they're going to go 3-7 in their last 10, like 4 games over the course of the season.
Yeah, depth is going to kill that team. You look, Steven Matz is their number 5, slotted to be their number 5 pitcher right now, and that ain't going to cut it. Steven Matz, remember the Mets?
Oh my God!
Yeah, the guy's terrible.
Drew Smiley
slotted to be their number 5.
Yeah, honestly. All right, 7. Who do you got? What's your next one?
I mean, I don't even know if I should talk about the Nationals getting over 84.5. We all kind of know that we're all thinking that.
We like them.
I'm just going to go to the next one because I don't want to spend too much more time on Washington. But I like the St. Louis Cardinals over 86.5. We talked about the division. It's going to be a rock fight. Or would you call it? Was it a rock fight? Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's a rock fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It is. No.
They're all going to win 80 games except for the Pirates, who are going to win like 32.
Yeah, and the fact is, you're right. The pitching in this division is not good, aside from a couple names that aren't amazing. I like the Cardinals. I love the Arenado sign or trade, I should say, the steal. They didn't fucking trade; they stole him.
Robbery.
So that was nice for them. But this lineup, in my opinion, I think the Cardinals have the most balanced lineup, and I mean that they have power, speed, and contact throughout. It's a veteran lineup. You know what you're going to get with them. The pitching leaves a little bit of a question mark. After Flaherty, you have Wainwright, who might be, 100 years old by the time he hangs up the cleats. And after that, I really don't know. I don't. The bullpen's great. Gallegos is awesome. I know they're getting Hicks back. So that they have pieces there to be really good. And I'm going to go out on a long shot here. And I'm going to say because of this division, and if things don't work out with the Brewers early on and the Cardinals get off to a hot start, I think the Cardinals could be a 100-win team. And I don't think that's
sound the alarm.
I don't think that's too crazy to say. I think when you get to play the Pirates that many times, when you get to play the Cubs, when you get to play the Reds, and half of them are home games, and with fans in the stands, St. Louis is a baseball town.
It is.
With all 3,000 people that live there. But they get ready for these games, and I think the Cardinals, again, they're battle tested. They've been there before. They're a good team. The Arenado just pushes them over the top. So they could potentially be a 100-win team. So hammer the over on this 86.5, easy money.
Yeah, this is similar to what I said about James McCann joining the Mets. You have Arenado, who's wanted to win his whole fucking career. Goldschmidt is still trying to get there. Those are two fucking incredible guys. Colton Wong, they have a lot to like in that lineup. And like you said, the pitching rotation, there are certainly some questions there. But in a division that has no pitching and for at least two of the teams also no hitting, I think 86.5 is a great bet here. Scott, you got any thoughts on the old St. Louis Cardinals, Redbirds, or are you going to jump into your next one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about 100 wins. That's a bold statement. But, yeah, I do like that. I like the addition that they made with Arenado. Obviously, that's a huge upgrade for pretty much any team. But, yeah, and they're coached well, too. They're always a team that they do the fundamentals right. So, yeah, I definitely think that I like the over with that, if I had to choose one.
Just don't let Tony La Russa drive. Take his keys.
Breaking news from Drake Mann, fellow Breakdown contributor. Cahill is signed with the Pirates.
That does not move any needle for me.
They're going to win 33 games, guys. I said earlier they're winning 32. Cahill bought them one win.
Oh,
man. But, yeah, I guess another one I'll give away that I haven't talked about, obviously the Cubs, since I do not like the over 78.5, the under for me, get that number before it moves. I won't talk anymore about it. But another one that I like is the Angels under. I just don't think this team has any pitching. Dylan Bundy was their ace last year. I don't think he replicates that year as well. I know you said the AL West was down, but I just don't think this team has what it takes to win more than 83 games. I see them in the 70s. Just another bottom feeder. Unfortunately for Mike Trout, just another wasted season for him as he collects that huge contract.
They have like 5 dudes whose name I know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. They don't have a bullpen.
No.
Raciel Iglesias from the Reds last year. He has electric stuff, but that dude gets lit.
Oh,
His
absolutely.
fastball's right down the middle.
Yeah.
And, I just don't like anything about that team.
I love that, actually. I'm sick of the Angel apologists that seem to run rampant on Twitter. Dude,
a lot of Angels fans.
Yeah, Mike Trout but you don't do anything with it. Like
No.
it's the same product every year. You're going to be 81 and 81 or marginally better at 82. Like I just don't. I hate this team, so I like that bet.
Honestly,
Nope.
a decent value play that I saw. Joe Madden first coach fired plus 700.
Ooh,
He's like
that's
the
a
fifth. He's like the fifth best odds. The other ones are stupid. Like Baltimore, whoever their manager's name is, I don't fucking.
Hyde. I think it's Hyde.
It's not Showalter. That's all I know.
No.
So I have no fucking clue who it is. He's like number one, and like it's real bad teams. Bad teams aren't gonna fire their coach. Teams that are delusional and think they're gonna win, like the Los Angeles Angels, they're the teams that are gonna fire their coach in the middle of the season. There is no incentive for Baltimore to fire their coach. No incentive for Detroit or the Pirates. Why? Why would they fire their coach? They gave them literally nothing to work with. Whereas Madden, he walks around and crazy man. He certainly thinks they are one of the best teams in their division. Probably thinks they're one of the best teams in the league. They have no fucking depth, none. I mean, is Albert Pujols still going to be contributing at a significant level for them, or has that finally passed?
I think if that guy hits 220, 225, they'll be happy with that this year.
I mean, they have Dexter Fowler, Mike Trout, and Upton and Rendon. I can name one of their starters, Andrew Heaney, and you said Dylan Bundy. I honestly didn't know he was on the Angels. Didn't know.
He was probably their best pitcher last year.
Yeah, he probably was. I don't pay attention to the Angels because they can't break 500. They are not going to compete for that division. I think it's an absolute joke. I'm sure Baseball Prospectus has them to win 97 games. Let's see. 86. That's not terribly crazy, but I don't see it happening. I think they are at tops an 80-win team, and I think that is a great fucking bet.
I also don't like them letting Tommy La Stella go. I really liked him at their lineup hit in front of Trout, and they let him walk. So, I just don't like this team at all.
Yeah, That's a good point.
Yeah, he was a real spark plug for them. Like, he could play many positions, and they were still, for some reason, finding a tough time and getting him significant playing time, which seems ludicrous for a team who has, like, 7 guys we can all name. My next one, it's the Cubs. I'm not going to talk about Chicago anymore. Under 79, even money. Go out and fucking bet it. They're going to win 70 games. They just don't have the pitching in a division where you kind of need pitching based off some of your opponents to win 80 games. I just don't see it happening. I think 75 is the ceiling. Scott and I both like the Cubs under.
Hammer that.
All right. We're cruising along. We got one section before we jump into rapid fire. So we're going to get into some player props. We've been talking about players. We haven't really gotten into any crazy player props. Scott's got fucking 4 player props loaded. He's ready to go. I'm going to turn it over to him first just because he's got so much to talk about. Pick one and let's go.
Yeah, so the first one that popped out to me was Giancarlo Stanton's home run total, 38.5. I don't think he stays healthy the whole year. So, that number is a huge under for me. You can get that at 110. I love that. Another one I like following that is DJ LeMahieu to win the AL MVP. You can get that at plus 3,300. I think he's going to have another big year for them. I love him as a player, even though he's a Yankee, but I love his skill set. I think he's huge for them. I think, that they're going to be one of the better teams in the American League, even though they might miss the playoffs at plus 600. But I think he has a great year. So that value is insane for me.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm cutting you off there. First, his name is Mike. None of this Giancarlo business. Mike Stanton. Brendan and I exclusively refer to him as Mike Stanton. That was his name, and they changed it. I'm tired of these players changing their names. He is Mike Stanton.
Chad Ochocinco.
He moved into an apartment. That was a whole big ordeal. He had to take playing time off because he needed to get furniture because he doesn't have one of the biggest salaries in MLB to like get an assistant.
Can't hire movers.
fucking hire movers or pay a friend. Like, he doesn't have friends in the city. It's fucking New York. I even have friends in New York.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't move Blake Snell couldn't move furniture either a couple years ago, if you remember that.
Good point. Yeah.
Um,
What do you think about Scott's DJ LeMahieu? I know you're kind of high on him as well. He has him AL MVP plus 3,300. You like that?
I like it. I mean, he got votes the last couple of years. He was insane in a 60-game season for them. He was really the only constant they had that they could count on. So I like it, and I like the value at plus 3,300. I don't think you go wrong there. I'd stay in the AL East for my AL MVP. I like George Springer. I think at plus 3,000, similar odds, a lot of value there. I think with this lineup, and again, he's coming from a loaded lineup in Houston, and he did pretty well there. I think with this lineup, he's in an even better spot going into 2021 with a young core. He's going to get a lot of good pitches to hit, especially with who's behind him. If we're projecting him to hit in the leadoff spot or the 2 spot, so he will get pitches to hit. He's a run producer. He steals bases. He does everything right. So I think now, people take notice. And if the Blue Jays are as good as everyone thinks they can be, Springer's going to be a big catalyst for that. So I like him to get MVP votes and potentially get the MVP. So at plus 3,000, I don't think you can go wrong there.
I like that. Like I said, I don't think they're going to win 90 games, but I certainly think they're going to be good. And because he is so protected in that lineup, you can't walk him. You can't even walk the guys in front of him because he's coming up after or before them. Any idea where you think is he going to be their 3-4 hitter? Where's he going to sit?
I think he hits
1,
2.
2. Yeah.
I think 2 is perfect for him. So
I like that. That's a really good one. My first one, I'm going totally other end. I'm taking someone on one of the worst teams. I'm taking Joey Big Fucking Bats Gallo for Home Run King. I call it Home Run King. It's Home Run Champion. Guy you like to get the most home runs, plus 1,400. Dude, there is no reason to not pitch to him. That team is not going to win games. They're going to throw the ball to him. As long as they are throwing strikes to him, he's going to fucking hit it out of the park. He averages around 35 home runs in a given season. Those are seasons when they were, not contenders, but they were like competitive. They're not fucking competitive this year. They let everyone go. They even let Mike Minor walk. I mean, at that point, if you're letting a pitcher leave who is probably, I don't know what he got in from the Royals. I'd guess it's under 10 million a year. If you're letting that dude walk out the door and not spending money anywhere else, yeah, that's my little rant about Texas. Sorry, I was really high on them for a couple of years. Joey Gallo is going to see a lot of pitches. There's no one around him, so it's not like they're going to be worried about the bases being juiced when Joey Gallo gets up, because it's not going to fucking happen. There's no concern there. They are going to pitch to Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo is going to hit a lot of dingers. Joey Gallo, Home Run King. I think, we've talked about, the ball is juiced for a while, and now allegedly, not allegedly, they're deadening the ball again. I think Joey Gallo hits like 45 and has the most home runs in the league. I think we're going to see a lot of guys in the 32 to 40 range, and I think that Joey Gallo ultimately at the end of the year walks away with the crown.
I can see it.
He's got nothing else to do there.
Yeah, no, literally. I mean, he's just got to work on that launch angle, which he has fucking perfected, and hitting dingers. That's all he's got going for him, and hopefully they trade him at some point in the next few years, because the future isn't bright for them. They don't have a ton of great prospects coming up. I don't think their owners are going to spend, even though they have a brand new fucking gorgeous stadium. They're finally getting out of the sun for the first time in ever. They're not going to be baking in the Texas heat. I know you know a little bit about that, Scott, but Joey Gallo, Home Run King, and he's not going to wear a crown. He's going to wear a belt. Discount double check type belt.
Love it.
Scott, back to you. You let us off with 2. Let's hear one of your other ones you got.
Yeah, I'll go to the NL. I really like Christian Pache. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. NL Rookie of the Year. I really like him in that lineup. He doesn't have to, he doesn't have to do everything for that team. They have guys like Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna. They have pieces around him. I think he can just go out and play. And if you watched him in spring training at all, he's been tearing it up. I really like his skill set. I think he has a great opportunity in front of him, and you can get him at plus 1,200 to win NL Rookie of the Year. And I'd love that bet.
Do you happen to know who are some of the front runners for NL Rookie of the Year? Probably pitchers.
I think Brian Hayes from Pittsburgh is up there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think you got to win some games to win Rookie of the Year. I mean,
I agree.
I don't think it's like a Mike Trout thing where you can win 65 games and be the MVP. I think to be Rookie of the Year, you have to be on a good team that's competing and getting some spotlight on you.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and he'll be in a position to do that.
True.
7. What do you got?
I'm going to piggyback off of Scott earlier. DJ LeMahieu over 177 and a half hits. I think this is pretty easy. He's easily a 200 hit player. And with that lineup, we talked about having a loaded lineup. He's going to get pitches. He's going to be hitting leadoff. Behind him, you have Judge, Stanton, Aaron Hicks. If it was golf, I mean, you'd be very afraid of that. But
yeah, great golfer.
Great golfer. No, but that lineup, there really aren't that many weak spots when they're healthy. LeMahieu is the catalyst. He does get on base. He does get a lot of hits, works the count. He's very good at that. I think I would potentially peg him at 200 hits. I don't think that's too far off. So 177 and a half, 178 hits. Why wouldn't you take that value? It's too easy. It's not great value, minus 113, but it's there for the taking.
I mean, so I just pulled up his fan graphs real quick. Had to scroll past through all the projection bullshit. The only time he's gone under 177 hits was like his rookie year. And in 2018 when he was injured and didn't play 55 games. And he still had 150 hits. So he gets hits. I mean, in a lineup that is stacked and has so many other pieces in it, all he needs to do is get on base. And I think 177 and a half hits for DJ LeMahieu is a great bet. Great value. I mean, there's no shame in laying minus 113 on something that, in my opinion, has probably a 70% probability of it happening. Like, you're basically betting to take the under, you're betting that he gets injured. That's really the only thing here. And he's not really someone who's shown a history of sitting out a ton of games. He plays a lot. He plays 150 plus games every year when he's healthy. And yeah, I think that's a great one. My next pick, going back to the Brew Crew. We talked about things we like about them earlier. I don't think we've talked about Christian Yelich much. He had a terrible year last year, and Yelich is ready to come back, baby. He's got some good pieces in that lineup, but he is their only power hitter. And that is going to be huge. For me personally, when I look at an MVP, and this is probably a little bit incorrect, I like to look at someone who kind of has to put the team on their back, in the words of a famous YouTube clip. Plus 1,200, Christian Yelich to win NL MVP. He's like the 7th highest odds, and that seems a little crazy for me for someone who's probably one of the 10 most talented players in all of baseball in the 2 combined leagues. I think he can hit 35 home runs. He's going to have a great year in the field, as he always does. Brewers are going to win some games. I think they are certainly in play to win their division. I definitely think they make the playoffs. And having that type of attention and spotlight on him, adding guys in like Jackie Bradley to help out their defensive efforts, I think that Yelich is going to get a lot of opportunities at the plate. They're going to win some pretty close games because they're going to be able to get guys on, and he's going to be able to drive them in. Probably looking at about 120 RBI season, which a little aggressive. But I like Christian Yelich plus 1,200.
I couldn't find odds for it, but I have Christian Yelich as a Triple Crown winner.
Ooh,
for 2021.
That's nice.
I don't think it's too crazy for everything you just said, Jordan. And when you take into account how shitty his season was last year,
terrible.
he's shown that he is an MVP player.
Mm-hmm.
I think he comes back with a vengeance. And I don't think yet I'd want to see an angry Christian Yelich come to the plate. And I think that's what you're going to get for all of 2021.
Yep. I think maybe he doesn't get back to 2018 where he hit like 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, and batted like 330 or something. But he's hitting over 300. He's not hitting 200 like last year. I think he spent from the moment the baseball season ended until the day it's starting, just in the weight room, working out, getting in shape, taking BP, and he's ready. All right. Did we finish them all? No, I think you both share a Rookie of the Year. So if you want, one of you take it away, and we'll go from there.
Go ahead,
Scotty, take it.
Cool. Yeah. Ryan Mountcastle. Love him in the American League for the Rookie of the Year. We got to see him a bunch last year because how bad the Orioles are, and that dude can ball out. I'm telling you what, he killed the Red Sox last year. You can get him at plus 1,200. Right now, DraftKings has Randy Arozarena at plus 350 as a favorite, and I hate that bet. I think that's huge recency bias from the World Series. I do not think he replicates that. He was great for the Rays last year, but yeah, that's not who he is as a player, in my opinion. And I think the next highest guy is Jared Kelenic. Shout out Danny D. But I think that the Mariners are going to do what their former baseball operations, whoever that was, said, and manipulate his player time from when he starts.
You might see his big tummy out and left.
Right. But I love Ryan Mountcastle plus 1,200 for that. I think that's, not a safe bet. There's no safe bets, but I love that one.
Yeah, this one for me it screams value, and he's going to be playing every day. Like, I think even if a Rosarina, depending on what happens with him off the field, because he's shown that he's not a model citizen off the field, so suspensions could loom for him as well. But even that, he plays on the Rays. Kevin Cash never has the same lineup 2 days in a row. Is he going to get as many at-bats as Mountcastle? I doubt it. Mountcastle, has proven that he can play at a high level. And Kelenic isn't even in the majors yet. So I look at those three names, and I think Mountcastle's the safest bet with the best odds. So why wouldn't you take him?
Yeah. When I was looking at because I saw you both had Mountcastle, Wander Franco's like plus 800. Aren't the Rays just going to fuck his service time? Like in the same way that Mariners are going to with Kelenic? Like, there's no incentive for them to call him up at the beginning of the season. They're going to wait till 30, 60, 90 days into the season, so that way they can save on some arbitration costs down the road. Mountcastle is someone who is going to step in day one and play. I think that is one of the best bets that is being offered on just like a player prop. I think that's incredible value. I really like that play. I probably should take it myself. We are going to go ahead and we're going to jump into our rapid fire. We're going to be moving quick, so I'm going to let you guys take a chance, drink some water. I'm going to spitball here, give a quick plug to the breakdown. Make sure you're following us on Twitter for those of us who are on Facebook viewing this at breakdown_sports. We do have an Instagram. We've been getting a ton of likes on Instagram lately. I'm loving it, especially with the 30-30 posts. Those are getting a lot of attention. So shout out to breakdown intern Dylan Sherbing, who's been really grinding the tape on the Instagram posts. And then follow us on Facebook. You can do a quick little Facebook search, The Breakdown. Find us, give us a like there. We certainly appreciate any and all support that we can get. If anyone has any sort of bets coming up for this weekend, we got a lot going on with college basketball, NBA's coming back into swing of things. Maybe you're a true degenerate and you're getting down on spring training. You think you got that spring training lock. You got a beat reporter who's sharing innings. How long Nolan Arenado is going to get an inner team scrimmage this weekend. Let us know. We'd love to hear it, and we're ready for that. So rapid fire. First one that we're going to do, division winners. No reasonings behind them. We're just going to run through. who we like in the division. I'm going to turn it over 7 first. 7, run through division winners for each division.
All right, rapid fire. AL East, like the Yankees, numerous reasons why. I'm not going to get too into it. AL Central, White Sox, obvious reason. Best team in the division. AL West, A's, as stated before, sneaky. NL East, Nationals. Don't want to get into the Nationals. We've talked about them enough. NL Central, Cardinals. I like the Cardinals over the Brewers just because of the offense. And NL West, Dodgers. Been there, done that before. Can't disrespect the champs. I like them to win the West.
Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Cool. So AL East got the Red Sox, baby. Let's go. Central, White Sox. Going with the Sox this year in both divisions. AL West, I hate this team with a fiery passion, but I think they win the West and the AL, and that's the Astros. Heading over to the NL in the East, I think the Mets win. I know you hate the Mets, but yeah, I like what the new ownership's doing. Hopefully they can make some moves in the season. I got the Cardinals win the Central, and then I got the Padres, Slam Diego, coming out on top in the West.
All right. Kicking it off in the East, AL East, I have the Boston Red Sox plus 2,200. In the AL Central, I have the White Sox, just as Scott did, and Brendan. The AL West, I'm going back to Oakland, baby, plus 155. NL East, I'm taking the Nationals, plus 675. NL Central, Cardinals, plus 105. And the NL West, Dodgers at minus 250. Lay the fucking juice. That is rapid fire for our division winners. We're going to go into some players next. Let's kick it off with MVP. You're up.
Well, I think he's going to win the Triple Crown, so I got to take him at the MVP, Christian Yelich, for all the reasons that we just stated, plus 1,200, back with a vengeance, love it. AL, talked about him before too, George Springer. Great odds, great value here, plus 3,000. Great team. Well, not great team, but great offense. So he's going to get his chances. So I like him a lot in that spot.
Scott, you're up.
Yeah, going with one of my favorite players. Fortunately, he's not on my team anymore, but I love Mookie Betts to win the NL MVP. The lineup's loaded. You know, he's in the prime of his career. The dude's fucking one of the best players outside of Mike Trout. And I do love him in the NL this year. I like Juan Soto, but yeah, I just don't think that he's at that level of Mookie Betts currently. I think he projects that high, but we're talking for this year. And I got Mookie Betts there. And then if we're going to the AL, one of the most consistent and I think underrated guys is Jose Abreu. Won it last year. And all the dude does is just hit, and he's consistent. If you go back to his stat line over the last 5 years, it's crazy how consistent it is. And so I think he has another good year, and I see him winning the AL. I think he has great odds, too, at plus 2,500. So, yeah, give me that all day.
I like that. My 2 picks, starting in the NL, teaming up with Brendan here, Christian Yelich, plus 1,200. I think there's just way too much value on him having a rebound year. I'm going wild man with my next one. AL, Jose fucking Ramirez, plus 1,200. That team literally has nothing going for it. In a similar reasons why I like Joey Gallo to win the home run title, Jose Ramirez is going to be pitched to all season long. The Indians, aside from him, have almost nothing on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that there is a great chance that Jose Ramirez has his best year on a putrid team.
I like it.
Going over, we're going to get on the hill now. We're going to talk about some Cy Youngs. Brendan, who you got?
I don't want to die in this rich hill, but Dinelson Lamet. I like Dinelson Lamet a lot. He got Cy Young votes last year. In a small sample, we got to see what he could really do. The odds are ginormous at plus 2,500. He plays on a good team. They're not asking him to be the ace, but he very well could be an ace on a different team. So the numbers should be there, and I like the matchups that he's probably going to get as a 3 or a 4 in this rotation. So we should get a lot of wins. And at the end of the day, we know that wins mean more than anything to the baseball writers. So if he gets, between 15 and 20 wins, I think he has a really good chance of winning the Cy Young of the NL.
Who you got in the AL?
AL, not as sexy. Took Lucas Giolito. Plus 450, not great odds, but he did show promise last year and towards the second half of 2019. So I think it's sustainable. He's on a good team. Bad division, should get a lot of wins. So same reasoning, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, do you remember in 2019, that beginning of the year, he was getting shafted. I mean, the dude was throwing absolute gems, and they would no decision, and they'd lose because that terrible fucking bullpen they had. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here, give you a bit of a rest, Scott. My NL pick, Trevor Bauer. We haven't talked about him. I don't know how we've gone a whole stream without mentioning Twitter's favorite baseball player. But Trevor Bauer, plus 900 on a team that's stacked. You have 3 teams that aren't going to break 500 in the division. And you have the Dodgers with one of the most unreal starting rotations in recent memory. Trevor Bauer sort of being the front runner on that team, up there with Walker Buehler. Clayton Kershaw still out there eating innings. Trevor Bauer, plus 900. My next one. So Scott had the audacity to slander him earlier. Kenta Maeda. I don't think last year was I don't think it was a flash in the pan. I think Kenta Maeda, in a rather weak division and a very weak hitting division, he can go out and win 17, 18 games. I think this is like a Rick Porcello type Cy Young, where he has the most wins in the league, but he has like a 4.0 ERA, and he still wins it just because he gets those wins. Last year, he had I looked this up, I didn't fucking believe it. He had a .75 whip, which seems unfucking real. And he had like a 1.7 ERA, which was shocking even to me. Now the biggest Kenta Maeda fan. Scott, what do you got?
All right. What I got for the NL, I got Yu Darvish. I love him going to the pitching in Petco. I think that's going to be huge for him. He goes from Wrigley to Petco. That's a big plus for him. You can get him at 1,200. I think his arsenal of pitches, especially at sea level, is going to be super nasty. And he has a pretty solid lineup behind him. And for the same reasons that you liked Trevor Bauer, there's 3 teams in their division that are terrible. So he's going to beat up on them. And yeah, I think he's going to have another strong year. And another guy I like, kind of a dark horse for the AL, is Lance Lynn. I think he's great on that Chicago White Sox team. Yeah. I love how his fastball is going to play at that park. He relies on his fastball a lot. And I think, he's going to be in line to get a bunch of wins. So I think that he's going to be towards the top in the AL and wins. And I think he's kind of one of those guys who can sneak up on people towards the end of the year.
Lance Lynn, another great player that the Rangers just let walk out the door and didn't spend any fucking money. So yeah, I think he's going to be great in Chicago, and especially where you have Giolito, who's certainly holding down that one spot where he's going to be slated as a 2 or 3. He's going to get some solid matchups where you put him on most other teams, he's a 1. And I think that's really good for him. He is playing in a better climate. It's not going to be fucking burning up and just balls launching. So I like that. Him playing on South Side, I think that's fun. Great pick there.
I like it.
We're almost set. What do you got?
For the long shot?
Yeah.
The Mariners to make the playoffs plus 1,000.
All right, smooth brain.
I know. I thought I was kind of a smooth brain when I took this. The only reason I'm taking this is because the value is there at plus 1,000. They have a lot of young kids that potentially could be ready to go. They got rid of Mather. He's not the CEO. He can't call into Rotary clubs for brunch anymore. So the service time, if anything, I feel like the service time clock should be pushed up now for the Mariners to prove that they do not do that. Yep. So I think Kalenic will start out the season in AAA, but will be up in like a week or 2. They have decent pitching. The bullpen got revamped. And also, I think it's a similar story or success story that we saw with the White Sox, where they had this young core that they wanted to get to the majors to play together, kind of like what the Blue Jays did as well. And now there's pressure for them to do that, of course, after the Rotary Club call. So everyone is looking for the Mariners to bring these kids up. Again, we talked about the AL West. It's not the powerhouse it was before, the runaway train with the Astros there. And the Angels are always going to be overrated. The A's are jack of all trades, master of none, and the Rangers exist. So the Mariners are in a prime position to maybe get a wild card. I don't think they can win the division, but a wild card is definitely within their sights. So I like the odds, and I think it potentially could happen if the chips fall in the right place.
I like it. My favorite long shot, I talked about this team a lot. Washington Nationals plus 2,500 to win the NL. It just seems too much. I see a much greater scenario than like a 2% chance. Hold on. What is 2,500 is like 3%. There's greater than a 3% chance that they can win the NL. They have too good of pitching. They have solid bats. They have Trey Turner. They have Juan Soto. And they have a good bullpen. That might be all that they need to win the NL. Yes, that means going through the Dodgers. Yes, that means possibly going through either the Padres or the Braves or NL Central. They're all going to lose. Brewers or Cardinals, I guess. Nationals plus 2,500, great value. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah. So here's one I've kind of mentioned before. I'll give you guys another one too. Yu Darvish plus 1,200 to win this NL Cy Young. I love that bet. I loved him last year. He killed it, and I think he's going to do the same thing this year on an even better team, in a better ballpark, in a better city this year. And then one also, too, that I was just kind of looking up. I love Liam Hendricks to be the saves leader at plus 750.
Interesting.
The White Sox are going to be, in a position to win a bunch of games in that division, and he's one of the best closers in the baseball. We saw what he did with the A's. The guy's lights out. So I think he's really going to clamp down that bullpen, the back end of that bullpen. I think he has a good shot to be the saves leader 2021.
Like that. I mean, I know Oakland just kind of rides a hot hand, but pushing him out straight out the fucking door and letting him leave like they did with Marcus Semien kind of bothers me. I'm like a closeted A's fan. I lived in the Bay Area for so long. You have to pick a team. I wasn't picking the fucking Giants. I wasn't paying to go to those games. Too fucking expensive, too cold. So I latched on to the A's. And seeing Liam Hendricks kind of be pushed out the door. Yeah, they had Lou Trevino who was able to get them saves, but just letting him walk is almost as bad as letting Marcus Semien walk. But I'll save that for my Marcus Semien rant at some point down the road. Think we all got through our long shot. So when it gets down to it, what do we have for World Series matchups? Who do we think is taking it? Brendan, gonna lead it off with you.
Yeah, I said it earlier, the Nationals and the Yankees. That's my matchup for a multitude of reasons. I think if the Yankees stay healthy, obviously, they have the pedigree there as a playoff team. Nationals, same reason. No one's talking about them. They were there 2 years ago. They might have the deepest rotation in the National League, all things considered, except for that 5 spot. But who fucking knows what's going to happen with Joe Ross? I like both these teams for the same reason. They're battle tested. They're really good, and they can score a shit ton of runs. So I think, two heavyweights duking it out. It's a good World Series.
Scott, who do you got?
Yes, I'm pretty high on the White Sox. I think they're going to win the AL. I think they finally solidified the back end bullpen. So I think that they're going to make it through the American League side. And then I like the Padres to dethrone the champs, the Dodgers.
Ooh.
I really like what they did in their starting pitching, going out and getting Blake Snell and Yu Darvish. I think that's going to be huge for them. I like them to ride that hype train, slam Diego, make it to the World Series.
I think Brendan and I are going to need to book you in Drake Man a room. You guys can get it on while thinking about Slam Diego.
Oh
My
gosh.
World Series matchup is the Doyos, the Los Angeles Dodgers versus Chicago White Sox. I like the White Sox. I actually haven't talked about them at all this stream. I know Scott is real high on them as well. I think that this is the chance. This is the year that they break through. They've added pieces. They've got that youth. They have depth. But at the end of the day, I have the Dodgers repeating. You don't see it often in baseball. It's been quite some time since we saw a repeat, probably going back to, Brendan, were you guys the last team to repeat?
No. Oh, no, they were, yeah, but that was back in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, like forever ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while in baseball. I think we see it this year. I think the Dodgers, dude, that roster, too legit. Pitching rotation's great. Bullpen, there are questions there. But I think the Dodgers just have too much. And if push comes to shove, when it gets down to October, Trevor Bauer will fucking raise his hand and come out of the pen. Kershaw will be out there. They will do whatever it needs to bring home 2 consecutive titles back to Los Angeles. Guys, we did it. 90 minutes. I said this was going to be an hour-long to 90-minute show. We're currently sitting at 92 minutes. So kudos to us, keeping it on the rails, very minimal. Train didn't come off the tracks very often. When it did, I was to blame. So I'll take that. But great show. Really appreciate everyone for joining in, for everyone who's going to be tuning in at a later time. This is good for 2-3 weeks. So, kind of roll through it. Look at the sections that interest you. We talked everything. We talked players. We talked win totals. We talked long shots. We fucking talked teams we wouldn't bet with our ex-girlfriend's money. And like I said, I got a lot of those. So that was a lot of money I could have spent, and I didn't spend $1. So that's it for the stream today. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate Scott and Seven joining in with me, being able to talk some baseball. We brought the energy. Hope everyone enjoyed the show, and good luck. You guys got any parting words or thoughts to share before we sign off?
No, just keep an eye out if you're following the breakdown, and you should. 30-30 continues until opening day, and then from that point on, there will be more streams in the future, and we will continue to give you great content throughout the whole season. So stick with us, and we're excited.
Absolutely. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, love this show, and we appreciate everyone who tunes in, and we love engaging with everybody. So, definitely throw a comment out there, send us a tweet. Yeah, we love it.
All right. So on behalf of the Breakdown Sports and Real Seven Costanza, and Scott Hoyt at Scotty Does Know, I am Gordon Von Denham signing off. Peace.